It's bubbles o'clock, with the two families keeping video diaries for us during lockdown. Last week, 73-year-old retiree Tricia was battling to keep happy hour at a respectable hour in her bubble of 3 just out of Wellington. And the Oliver family of Pukekohe is juggling work from home, schooling 3 older children and wrangling the dynamo that is 2-year-old Kenny. This week in the Bubble Diaries, the Oliver parents get a serve.
We wanted to share a letter with you that our daughter wrote us.
And further south, the dirty washing's coming out.
With more than 2 weeks of the lockdown to go, it didn't seem to be the right time to have a bit of an argument with the neighbours, particularly when they're not mine.
Day 8, the Olivers are still rising to the challenge of confinement. Here's 12-year-old Atalia.
And we've been spending lots of time in the kitchen lately. We've been doing lots of baking and cooking. And today I took a break from online learning so I could pull out this bread that I made earlier.
A sunshine-coloured rustic cob loaf freshly turned out on the bench in front of her. It's so familiar you can almost smell it through your TV or radio. And it smells like harmony. For now. Just out of Wellington, familiar routines and comforts are starting to evade Tricia in her little bubble.
Put a little bit of makeup on each day for as long as the stocks last. But then there was the question of touching your face. They suddenly came out and said we weren't to touch our face to avoid spreading the virus even further. Then, of course, there's the whole problem of hair. What to do about our hair when it keeps growing, because it's going to start to look like Boris Johnson's.
Day 9, and this normally keen news hound can smell her own indifference.
Today is Friday, although I had to check in my calendar to be sure. It's funny how you just lose track of the time. Before, I used to really look forward to Fridays.
AKA Digital Delivery Day for The Economist mag.
I must admit now, I really couldn't care less, and I've probably got at least 2 weeks' worth of the magazine to catch up on.
Instead, opting for online German lessons. Ach du liebe Zeit.
We'll just listen to the voice. Die Frau. Well, I should be able to get this right by now. And you'll see a nice ping goes of the bell and a nice green light, and on we go to the next one.
Tricia is not the only one slogging it out online.
Starting with our myth,
3 of the Olivers are device deep in schoolwork.
So, Lani, what are you missing about school so far?
My friends.
What do you not like about online school?
I get headaches from too much technology and my eyes start to hurt.
Dad Dan goes to the lounge mat, to give his best explanation of an incomprehensible maths lesson.
And you simplify this expression to that. So how can you use this to simplify that?
He says that he gets worse.
Even I can work out the square root of this one. It's frustration.
I have been really surprised too at the commitment that I've had to give to online schooling. What you doing?
Cleaning.
Day 10 is Saturday. That just means swapping one chore for another. The Oliver girls are cleaning windows and doing the washing. It counts towards school credits and a life lesson too. Mum is not your maid.
I've put together a schedule with who was cleaning what, emptying the dishwasher, bringing the washing down, vacuuming, because I just knew that it would not work if all the cleaning and the cooking was going to fall on me. So we're all cleaning this morning.
And just when the day couldn't get any better, the violin teacher beams in via a propped-up iPad. Each bow stroke stings like lemon juice to the cut. Further south, the weekend goes by in a blur of chutney wrestling, so not what you think.
So there I was, my son busy talking to his boss on the phone, me trying to gesticulate, could he just open the jar of chutney? But I have to say, in the end, I gave up and resorted to mustard.
And dirty laundry, because everyone has some.
I must say, hanging it out this morning was accompanied by very loud music from the neighbours.
By day 11, there is a common theme. If you have a last nerve, someone's keen to get on it. That's the soothing sound of 2-year-old Kenny Oliver's ride-on truck as he barrels into the side of the family home in Pukekohe. Symbolic, perhaps, of another gnarl-up looming. A tired-looking mum, Lesiali, explains.
Kids have been annoying each other all morning. They have been getting on each other's nerves. So then we decided we would send them for a run. The run is probably around about 800 metres. So I'm just waiting at the end of the driveway for them to get back.
As Mum films, the three girls file down the driveway one by one.
Come on.
She gets the stink eye and then a protest letter from their 8-year-old.
Dear Mum and Dad, I have 10 things to say that you did to my day. Starting with Mum. Number 1, you ignored me when I was crying. I couldn't talk to you because you were rude. You know what? I will make that 3 things for the both of you.
So what are your thoughts on lockdown right so far with kids?
The house feels a lot smaller, with 6 of us stuck inside of it. How about you?
We're only up to day 11. I actually feel like we're running out of ideas of things to do. I personally myself...
Constantly running out of food too.
Yeah, feeling quite bored, and so it's a bit of a challenge trying to keep a good attitude.
In our other bubble, 73-year-old retiree Tricia is taking stock too of her beloved fizzy, whatever gets you through.
To my great relief, when I looked in the cupboard in the laundry, I found not only had I got a 30-pack of Coke, but I'd also got an 18-pack of Coke. Now, this wasn't panic buying, this is my normal stockpile.
Tricia's in a bubble of 3. Time to muse on that choice.
Who would I most like to be in my bubble with, and who would I least like to be in my bubble with? I didn't even have to hesitate before the word Trump came out of my mouth. I just loathe that man. I'd also hate to be in a bubble with that corporate voice that you hear when you phone a company and you're told you're a very valuable customer and you're 15th in line. When you're checking your mobile answer phone messages and they say there's 5 new messages, first new message. And I would like to add Jamie Oliver, because I'm a terrible cook.
Kenny, what are you doing up there?
In Pukekohe, 2-year-old Kenny is scaling the pantry like Spider-Man. Like any 2-year-old, he's busy making imaginary phone calls, holding a coffee party, out shouting, talking Tom, the virtual pet, and choreographing a dinosaur war.
Why are you grumpy? You gonna tell Mummy why you're grumpy today? Say good night, say night-night.
No naps for Mum and Dad, who dodge all the daytime distractions by pulling a night shift.
We've got some really good work done during that time, and so it's close to midnight now, so we're about to go to bed.
While they get some shut-eye, let's leap forward to day 14. Tricia is quietly putting it all in perspective as she reflects on her old pre-lockdown life when she was an active volunteer teaching refugees to drive.
I kept in touch with one of the families from the Middle East who's the wife I was teaching to drive and got on particularly well with. And I always remember once asking her what she most liked about living in New Zealand, and she just said waking up in the morning and finding she was still alive.
Puts it all in perspective, doesn't it?